Ishabon and Gunnar in the house, back with another Arsenal news episode. Now, in this Arsenal news episode, of course, you have seen the thumbnail. You know what's brewing. Of course, you know what's brewing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why Jack Wilshere had a very injury-prone Arsenal career. Of course, we're going to deal with that as well. And of course, a lot of other news and stuff will be covered in this episode as well. So stay tuned for that. Well, Willian opens up about his future and, of course, how exactly he ended up at Arsenal. We kind of know that story, but still. And there you go, a big injury boost for Arsenal. An absence of a key Leicester City player in James Maddison might open up a lot of avenues for Arsenal. So also, Gabriel Martinelli has been wanted by a lot of Arsenal fans. A lot of Arsenal fans want Gabriel Martinelli to start against Leicester tomorrow. And of course, Gilberto Silva agrees with Cesc Fabregas that Saka is one of a kind. And of course, the best one is Sokratis opens up about facing Arsenal again. Well, what does he expect from Arsenal? Well, let's just jump into the first news that we got here is Bernd Leno has completed 100 appearances for Arsenal. Yes, well, the goalkeeper Magnifico has already appeared 100 times for Arsenal across all competitions. Congratulations, Bernd. And here's for more upcoming appearances as well. So cheers to that. Moving on, so official news about Jack Wilshere. In a recent interview, Jack has mentioned about how exactly he became injury prone. He says, I remember having conversations with the physios in my first year in the Arsenal team. They were like, look, you're playing a lot. I told them, I want to play. Wilshere says, I was living the dream. I was 19 playing for Arsenal. We were challenging for the league in the Champions League. No one was going to tell me I needed a rest. That's one of my biggest regrets. I wish I'd listened to physios a little more, learned more about my body. So it's because Jack Wilshere went on, and things really took a turn for the worse. And I am really starting to think the same thing about Bukayo Saka. I don't want him to get injured, but he's hardly getting any rest. And I'm so not happy about it. So here's a huge part about William Saliba. William Saliba has now played 10 games for OGC Nice since joining on loan from Arsenal in January, and no opposition player has successfully dribbled past him in those 10 games. Yep. Solid wall is William Saliba. Well, talking about more stuff, yes, let's talk about Arteta giving Bukayo Saka the rest. He says, at some point, ideally, yes, on Thursday night, at some stages in the game, we were thinking about that because you can see it. And also, we're going to talk about none other than Sokratis Papastatopoulos. Of course, officially he's been playing for Olympiacos in the main team for a long period of time in the season as well. He was already playing for them in the round of 32 of the Europa League as well. So he urges Olympiacos to exploit Arsenal weaknesses in the Europa League clash. Now, Sokratis is confident that Olympiacos can actually beat Arsenal again. He says, it is something special because until a month ago I was with them. I think it will be a difficult game. Arsenal are a very big team. We have to be focused during both games to repeat last year. There are no big differences because he is the same coach. More or less, it is the same team with 2 or 3 additions. It is a team with great quality, but there are also areas we can hit to harm them. Each game will be different. We should see them as 2 separate games. I believe that the coach has in mind the tactics that we must follow in combination with a good appearance and a good day. I believe that we have chances. So Sokratis believes that he's got chances, and he believes that it's a strong possibility that things will go all right for them and they can actually beat Arsenal in the round of 16. Moving on, so Gilberto Silva opens up about the Arsenal number 7, the star boy of Arsenal's attack. Well, Bukayo Saka, he agrees with Cesc Fabregas about Bukayo Saka's, his opinions about Saka. So this is what they had to say about it. Saka was also the provider for Aubameyang's opening goal, and of course the one that sealed it. So this is what Gilberto Silva had to say. He says Saka was solid, like he has been all season. He is my player of the season right now. I talk about him every week on my podcast as I really like him. Now, in truth, Gilberto is probably right. Saka would probably top every player of the season vote if Arsenal supporters were asked to cast their vote right now, with his performances having been on another level at times this season. Well, we all know what Fabregas said, so this is nothing that surprises me anymore. It just does not. It's not surprising me at all. So moving on, so Gabriel Martinelli has the vote of approval from a lot of Arsenal fans who want him to start against Leicester City. So Gabriel Martinelli has been tipped for Arsenal start versus Leicester after Mikel Arteta's team news hint. So some of Arsenal fans have stepped into Mikel Arteta's shoes ahead of Sunday's clash against Leicester City. Now the Gunners head to the King Power Stadium on the back of a 3-2 win over Benfica on Thursday evening, a result that has set up a Europa League round of 16 tie against Olympiacos. Now Arteta has revealed no fresh injury concerns and could welcome back Rob Holding, who missed the game against Benfica because of the concussion guidelines and everything. But yeah, we got the job done. And also the Arteta has also hinted at resting Bukayo Saka. Now, so moving on, so if Saka is rested against the Wolves, it looks like some Arsenal fans on Twitter tweeted this. A guy already said this, that Pepe on the right and Martinelli on the left. Another one said Martinelli, Odegaard, Pepe. That's what he wants in his midfield trio. Another one said Ode on the right, ESR in the 10, and Nico or Gabi on the left. Another one said, want it to be Martinelli, no, it will be Willian. So, Willian ahead of Martinelli on that wing role. Yeah, that's what Arsenal fans are thinking Arteta would do. And I'm pretty much sure they're not wrong in thinking that way, because that's what Arteta has been doing. Moving on. So, big injury blow for Leicester City, which has been confirmed by Brendan Rodgers ahead of their Arsenal clash. Now, the attacking midfielder has been a key player for Leicester City in recent weeks, but he will miss the game against Arsenal at the King Power Stadium on Sunday. Leicester City will be without James Maddison for Sunday's Premier League clash against Arsenal, and the massive injury blow is a problem which they'll be facing. So, Leicester City have 5 other first-team players unavailable for the big game against Arsenal at the King Power Stadium as they look to bounce back from Thursday's surprise defeat against Slavia Prague, which ended their participation in this season's Europa League. The list of injury is really bad. It includes Wesley Fofana, Ayoze Perez, Dennis Pratt, and Wes Morgan, while James Justin will not play again this season because of an anterior cruciate ligament injury. So ACL injury for James Justin. No more can he play. So 5 players, Wesley Fofana, Ayoze Perez, Dennis Pratt, Wes Morgan, and James Justin just cannot start against Arsenal, and add James Maddison to it. So this is what Brendan Rodgers had to say. He says, we've got the same squad available. So the likes of James Maddison, Ayo Perez are still not available. They continue to be out, so it's the same squad. We are seeing how Perez is over the next few days. He's obviously had that strain, and there's no real timeline on it with Ayo. We're just waiting to see how he feels and how he reacts. We're hoping at some period next week he can get out of there and join the squad. Fofana had a hamstring strain. He's recovering really well. He's been out on the field over these last couple of days and should rejoin the training group next week, which is great news for us. But the biggest news is the absence of Maddison, who's aggravated a hip injury in last week's win against Aston Villa that caused him to miss the 2-0 loss against Slavia Prague. Well, that's the problem. This is what Rodgers had to say. He says, it's obviously a very frustrating time. He was in great form. He's a real catalyst for our team with his consistency. Having been out in the early part of the season, his consistency has developed and he's been absolutely brilliant. So it's a very, very frustrating time for him. So Willian, let's talk about Willian Borges. Now, he has already opened up about his decision. Where exactly will he go after leaving Arsenal? I don't even think that any Arsenal fans would care about it. So he says that he was a game changer according to Mikel Arteta. He says, look, I always say that sometimes we make plans, but sometimes the plans change. Today in my head, I don't have this objective. I have neither the desire nor the objective to play in Brazil. I intend to stay in Europe anyway. Leaving Europe, going to another market, United States, I don't know, another market, but we can make plans. Sometimes things can change. So today I replied to you that I don't have this thought of playing in Brazil again. It was difficult to make that decision to leave Chelsea. Yep, we know all about that. Very well. So let us talk about the news that you wanted to hear. The news that we all want to discuss about is, yep, it looks like Arsenal are keeping close tabs on Bernardo Silva. Yes, they're looking to bring in Bernardo Silva at the Emirates, and there's a strong possibility that might happen, and that is how much crazy it might happen. Also, here's a quote of Marco Reus on Thomas Rosicky in 2013. Marco Reus said, "My idol was always Thomas Rosicky. He had such a good eye for an opening and knew where his teammates were, and he was so quick. Sadly, he was injury prone as well." So with this, we end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed, if you liked anything, just let me know what you guys feel about Bernardo Silva to Arsenal. Would you welcome it? Of course, I would. But yes, that's the fact, that's the reality, and that is what I feel about it. So stay tuned for more Arsenal news and let me know what you guys feel about it. I will see you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe. More awesome content coming to you soon.